What's up, friends? This is Manni, and welcome to one of the most important videos on WRpetition I've done in a long time. An official WRpetition petition that was made by all our creators together. We've worded this together because we see your negative emotions about the game in the comment section under our videos, and we know how you feel, and we feel the same. And the point of this was to stand with you and provide you with this official platform to sign on and to give a vote for what you think is the most important issues, right? Raising issues, offering solutions with this petition, and bringing back, or basically making WRpetition be the best game it can be. And bringing back lost players even that left a while ago, because now we're also addressing issues they didn't like, right? And that was the idea. That's also why we all got together and created and worded these points at the same time. So please find the link to this petition in the video description, pinned comment down below, and use it from there and make your votes, okay? And if you like what I do, then consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and also important, share this petition, right? And we also made it not be a boycott. We wanted this to be a positive petition, so that even Pixonic can look at this and say, wow, they went out of their way to make something for this game, to help it in whatever best way they could, and that even Pixonic would use this as a valuable resource, and the evaluation and the votes, the points. Unfortunately, now the creators, until for a few moments ago, all of the large other WRpetition creators were supposed to release this video at the same time as my video goes live as well, but they now all dropped out because even though we've made this together and everybody agreed on everything, they're afraid what Pixonic might think if they release this, strip away privileges or whatever. Again, which is unrealistic if everybody does it together, and it was just a positive petition and not a boycott. The sad thing is that we all know how you feel, and that this was meant for you to have a platform to voice your opinions and create some change together with us and be part of it, right? Even though you guys as the viewers are the ones who even make our channels what they are in the first place and provide us with the relevance in view numbers to be where we are today, and now you guys are not going to get it because they're, putting you behind Pixonic and are worried what Pixonic might think. It's really sad. I'm doing it anyway. I would have always done it, and I always say the things that I feel like are in need of saying. So, the petition for a better WRpetition. This hashtag WRpetition petition has been made on behalf of the WRpetition player base and with the help of its YouTube creators. It does not aim at boycotting WRpetition, but rather clearly stating problems that need to urgently be addressed. WRpetition, despite all its potential, has been slowly falling apart for years now. Because of the decisions made by its game developers, Pixonic has put short-term sales before the health, longevity, and balancing of the game. But in this time, our content creators and players are coming together to do something about it. As the ones providing the game with the necessary relevance in player numbers, sales, and online discovery, with video content, Pixonic has a responsibility to address issues we raise and guarantee the best possible gaming experience for all of us in return. Something they seem to have forgotten. This petition aims to remind them about it and provide a step-by-step roadmap on how to get back the WRpetition we love and the players we lost over the years. Please check the points, changes you wish to support, and leave out those you disagree with or you don't feel necessary. Takes about 10 minutes if you follow this video. It only takes 2 minutes for you because you already know every point, right? I'm going through this with you. Let your voices be heard and share this petition with all of your friends or people who are related to WRpetition or have played it in the past, because, it's for everyone, and a chance to voice your opinion and think, say what you would like most for the game, right? It is entirely positive. Nobody wanted anything negative for the game here, and so I feel like it's really weird that our creators are not there with you. They're actually asking for permission now. Can you believe they're asking for permission to make a petition? Who asks for permission for a petition? That is meant well. Anyways, email. If we have an email thing here that it requires an actual Google account, because we want to make this as legitimate as possible, right? Not so that even Pixonic can see, yo, those are actual real players who have signed up there. So not just any fake bot replies or something. Unfair features, paywalls is the first point. A game like WRpetition lives from a sandbox of free customization and experimentation with technologies and items that players earned and unlocked. Currently, this base principle moved behind unfairly designed features and exorbitant prices attached to them to drive revenue that is not at all justified. And for that, we have the individual points. Battleship turrets earned by a player cannot be destroyed when they are removed. I mean, what is that? They are purchased and they are removed and destroyed when you just because you want to use on different battleship. Pilot skills cannot reset to tier 1 when changing to a different skill, because you already invested in this skill slot and leveled it up maximum level, and then it resets just because you want to try out a different skill. No, can't be. Pilots can't require to be fully retrained when sent to a different robot, right? Experimentation and customization. That's what the game's strength should be. There is no reason why leveling pilots should require an upgrade token. Break, and this is the next point, break the release overpowered and nerf later cycle. WRpetition requires a change in one very important policy. Things sold for money cannot ever be changed or touched. Example given, Kestrel drone. Even though the Kestrel drone is not necessarily bad, but it changed its entire function, and 90% of those who used it before will not use it anymore afterwards because it is no longer usable in this circumstance. And that is not okay, right? And there's many examples where things are being nerfed and changed. This requires careful consideration of balancing with the release of new content, by doing so increasing variety on the battlefield and allowing players to regain trust into investing into WRpetition's content. It would break the release and nerf cycle and make WRpetition a far more enjoyable and widely played game, while at the same time creating a lasting incentive for players to buy something they can enjoy for all time. If people know it won't be changed, they would, right? To that point, we have one very important idea that would be really, really important here. Only one of the same robots per hangar? Question mark. This is a point worth of serious consideration, because even if something was more powerful, by eliminating it, you could rid the enemy of its power by coordinated team play or simply catching it off guard. But if the player can just spawn the same broken item over and over, there's little point to that. It would leave more room for certain items to stand out as a bit more powerful, without necessarily upsetting the whole gameplay. That's why this is also done in WRpetition tournaments, by the way. This could be one of the single most important points to discuss and for Pixonic to consider going forward, only one of the same robots per hangar. Right? Ultimate equipment is another point here. Ultimate items need to factor in previous player investments into their respective non-ultimate variants and not required to be obtained and leveled from scratch, effectively bypassing all prior spendings in this unrewarding way. Instead, reward players for their long-standing loyalty to WRpetition by allowing their investments to carry over. Just imagine how valued an OG player feels when they can start out with an ultimate item because he was there from the start. Or also how it can help with the decision to try out WRpetition after some time. If you know, wow, if I can start now and I can try out these ultimate things because I was there back then and I leveled the normal Orkans, that would be an incentive to come back and try it, right? So definitely something for Pixonic to consider. At Mark 212, players should be able to decide whether they want to upgrade to Mark 3 or receive the Mark 1 level 1 ultimate variant of the item instead. Again, if you don't agree with something, just leave out the point, right? And this way we see what's most important to you guys. The option to switch to ultimate needs to remain present, obviously, also at Mark 3 for an even smaller fee because you already invested into the Mark 3 upgrade. Upgrades of any kind should never cost more than one upgrade token. I think I've seen as much as 3 per upgrade for some things, I believe, and it's just too much. 1 upgrade token, max. The overpresence of negative effects is another thing. Effect carousel in WRpetition. Players passively firing all sorts of effects, lockdown, suppression, EMP, built-in weapons, effects, active modules, drones, and battleships. Playing without anti-control is almost impossible now, and it doesn't even work against all effects. The game has evolved too much from just shooting robots, even though this is its core principle or basis. Negative effects of all sorts should be tuned down. Instead of coming up with new ones, like the tracking ability of the Pathfinder robot on the test server, or the Bedweir taunt ability, right, another negative effect, and they should be tuned down rather than bringing new and coming up with more of them. Shorter durations, lesser effect strength. That would be very important here to help WRpetition be much more playable and smooth in its gameplay. For example, 10 to 20% suppression instead of 70-80% suppression, 30% slow instead of a complete lockdown, EMP blinding for 2 or 3 seconds tops, right? 20%, think about it, 20% less damage output. That is a big factor. That's a big result or change if you get suppressed. It makes a big difference for you. And being 30% slower allows your enemy to walk around the corner and not be followed by you. So effects don't have to be this insane and this crazy drastic and flooding the game so much, right? They could be just minor problems for you temporarily, instead of these complete game-changing things. Anyways, anti-control, and that's a very important point for me personally even, anti-control can't cope with the amount of negative effects anymore. Back in the days, it may have been able to do that, but no longer. It needs to be buffed tremendously to be able to combat the amount of negative effects that happen nowadays. It needs to cover all negative effects and have a much shorter cooldown. Before, there was a lockdown and sometimes a suppression from a certain robot, what anti-control helped you with, and then it worked. But now, like, you get shot literally simultaneously by 4 different effects. Anti-control is completely, it can't cope with that. You always on cooldown, and the cooldown is too long. It needs to do its job better, and for that it needs to be buffed, shorter cooldown, and cover all negative effects. If you equip a module specifically for the purpose of combating negative effects, well then, maybe you shouldn't have to worry so much about negative effects. Titans. Unlike battleships, Titans are robots that actually fit well into the game. But their presence, however, becomes a problem when there is no significant normal robots only phase in the beginning of the match. It's possible to get a Titan deployed within 40 seconds of game start. We've seen it all. In yesterday's livestream, for example. And for that reason, we have a solution here. Maybe there needs to be a safe period of about 4 to 5 minutes, or 50% beacon cap progress, or 15 robots destroyed in team deathmatch on one side of the team before Titans can be spawned. Something like this. It's just an idea. Don't get hung up on the numbers, but just to provide you with an idea to make some kind of threshold that ensures a good non-Titan battle phase before they're allowed in, because there are many robots that don't work well anymore as soon as Titans are on the battlefield. But this is not Titan Wars, it's war robots, and the robots are the majority of players and robots, and the Titans are supposed to be kind of your ultimate that you earn from playing, right? And after that, you use that ultimate and then you get back into your robot. But right now, you can have the Titan and play it almost from the start until the end of battle and just play the entire match as a Titan. And that is not really how it's meant to be, and changes the game drastically. Impact of drones, pilots, and battleships. Very important, of course. Pilots, drones, and battleships provide far too much power and flood the game with too many effects. Lockdown, suppression, EMP, example, etc. Without them, a player cannot even compete using the top-end meta robot. That's how far it has gotten way out of balance. Better examples for pilot skills would be, for example, plus 2% firepower, plus 2% hit points, plus 2% speed, right? Instead of, whoa, 18% durability or a full ability recharge when you reach 50% HP, like the Death Survivor on, for example, Orokochi or something, making the robot almost twice as good, just from one pilot skill out of so many you can have, where the rest of them provides you with 20% more durability almost and stuff like this, right? It is crazy. This is just one feature, the pilots, and it makes you twice as powerful or more. And this should be tuned down. Minor, it's for min-maxing. Right, here this is same for drones and battleships. Only minor bonuses, effects for min-maxing. That's what it should be for. That you can min-max your gameplay, customize yourself into a certain direction, and find your unique playstyle with them, but not to make yourself 3 times, 4 times more powerful when you combine all of these things. Of course, drastically changing the performance of content may need to include refund options of some kind or some kind of creative compensation. But if everything is tuned down at the same time, then it will not be a nerf individual for one item. It just means that there's really a rebalance for the whole of the game that makes all of the things more in line with each other. It's not an individual nerf for something, right? And one very important thing, trade-off skills are a really awesome thing. For example, and they should stay, skills where you sacrifice hit points for firepower, or speed for firepower, or speed for hit points, or whatever, right? Those skills, also like the traditionalist HP boost for sacrificing your ability, or Daredevil with the same, those skills are awesome, they are fun, and they allow further customization of players and finding their unique playstyles. Maybe those trade-off skills need to be looked at, that some of them give you like 10% more hit points for 3% firepower or something. That obviously is not an even trade, but the idea of the trade skills is awesome and they should stay for sure. WRpetition economy, big problem too, something that you guys are all talking about very often. New content costs so much, most players can't afford it, and it's still gated behind loot boxes and gambling. Subjecting children or players to gambling habits should be forbidden in all video games, and just because it isn't for some weird reason doesn't mean WRpetition should adapt it and make it a business practice. It is shameful. I thought there was a time when we were past this, but no. Want to sell something? Let people buy it directly and be fair and upfront about it. Make it an attractive price that the majority of players can consider. Instead of $100 to $200, for example, depending on the luck, for a new robot, make it $20 to $40 and see how many more people are showing interest in buying stuff in the game, right? If, like mentioned above, the trust of players sets back in that items won't be nerfed anymore, and you can even ask a bit more for premium content, players will think about it, because if they know for sure that this won't be touched or changed, that they can enjoy this as long as they want, they're gonna consider it. Really, right? WRpetition economy is made so unrewarding on purpose to incentivize purchases as the only real way to progress. It ties in with the above points. Playing the game should feel rewarding, don't make it a chore or such a grind. Silver payouts for battles should allow your next upgrade even to higher levels after 5 or 10 matches playing, instead of after 50 to 100 matches, right? And that means prices of 50 million silver are too high. Using the current rate of player earnings as an example, the upgrade price should never be more than 10 million for the most expensive upgrades and perhaps 5 million for more common upgrades. Same goes for gold, platinum, components, memoriam, etc., right? Can't believe we have this many currencies. In case something does get changed, players have a right for compensation, even if the terms of service and digital goods business somehow allow you to weasel out of it. But the truth stands by itself and strong. If something a player has spent money on is changed, he must be compensated. It's only normal and fair, and nothing else should ever be considered a business practice. The workshop should contain every item in the game instead of purposely not including new content to put it behind paywalls. Maybe, and this is an offer, an idea or solution here, maybe players can unlock the basic skin version of a robot or weapon through the workshop, whereas special edition skins and versions would be sold separately. And they're awesome, they're shiny, they're beautiful, and they have a slight improvement on performance on the special edition skins, and so those skins would be more relevant, and yeah, they would be attractive to be bought still. And you can show that you have afforded yourself this crazy awesome looking robot, whereas you got the basic, where every player can produce the basic version in the workshop, and those who, you know, buy it directly, they have it a few weeks earlier, because, well, they bought it instantly, right? It's like a battle pass that has certain rewards at the end, but you buy the battle pass and skip it, and you have the reward to play it day one, right? It's not an issue, it's not a big thing, but people will do it, and it's really a good way to monetize the game and still keep it fair and fun for everyone, right? Also respecting those who playing only casually, sometimes paying a little bit for something or so, right? Hackers are way out of control, taking over a large part of the WRpetition experience. There have to be measures taken to ensure a competitive gaming without them, and a zero tolerance against hackers. I've seen hackers playing the game after I've made videos about them and showed them and sent it directly to Pixonic, with the proof of them hacking. Something ever happened, be it because they are investing players, or because I don't know why, but there has to be a zero tolerance policy. Hackers are out of control, and this needs to be addressed. Matchmaking and tanking. Matchmaking and tanking needs to be drastically reworked. Deliberately putting players up against more powerful, more spending players to drive sales creates a terrible gaming experience and environment. This needs reworking. It's something that happens widely in this mobile gaming industry. There's something called scientific revenue and so on. Crazy science going into psyche of human beings and how to drive them the most way to make purchases, and all of this is so incredibly bad, actually, and disgusting even to certain extents. And this should stop. Just make it matchmaking based on Hangar strength. Random players' teams should never encounter teams with more than 3 players per squad. We've seen it yesterday too on the live stream. Squad teams with 4 or more people should meet teams with 4 or more squad members. 2. This is actually a very important point because it ruins a large amount of potential fun battles, and it ruins it for all 12 players. Even the six clan boys don't have fun steamrolling an enemy random team in 1.5 minutes. It's a waste of time of everybody. So please fix it. Why not, right? I mean, I'm really flabbergasted that it's not already changed for a long time ago. Matchmaking should find a way to match Hangar powers in some way to prevent tanking. We are aware that this can never be the perfect way to do it, because people can, change their Hangar power and so on. But it's not perfect, but it could be way better than it is right now, right? And this, again, in matchmaking based, or power of your Hangar based matchmaking, more than, trying to put than just respecting leagues, for example, because you can be in different leagues and still have different powers of your Hangar and dominate, I've seen messages a lot from people who are in super low leagues and get encounters with full Ohokochi clans or Hangars, which should never happen. It's very frustrating and it does not create a fun experience. Performance and fixes is the last point, ladies and gentlemen. The overall presence of lags has increased drastically and reduces the quality of the game. There should be a noticeable effort improvement made in that area quickly. It makes an otherwise decent game look unrefined or low quality. And that is sad, because the game could be really good and it could look really good, but if you look at it and you see all those lags, you feel like, ooh, it's like a freaking alpha game or something. It just diminishes the quality of the game, which it doesn't need to happen. Just those lags need to go. Test server runs badly or not at all, and our balancing opinions have little to no impact. Why not develop content for us, with us? Take our concerns seriously. Listen to us and use our ideas and suggestions, because they're good and we have a lot of them. And we are very resourceful as a community. So why not tap into this resource, Pixonic? It's a wasted opportunity if you don't use it. And also, obviously, when we say something is terribly broken and unbalanced, it shouldn't come into the game like that. Maybe it shouldn't come into the game like that. Bugs and glitches need to be addressed very quickly. Example given: Sarah firing through walls, hitbox problems, certain skins, special edition robots not working on the same way, like Ophion shields on landing with quicksand skin working, right? It was for a while. 4-legged robots getting stuck on slowing down on ramps, accidentally too fast cooldowns on abilities like Ohokochi, and then this not being addressed instantly, but taking a huge amount of time as if it was a selling point for the robots. It's not cool, and that bugs and glitches should obviously never be intentional to make better sales. This can never happen. It can happen that there are bugs, but they need to be dealt with as quick as possible, which means for, I think, iOS or something, a 2 weeks period for, sending up your update and then they approve it, and I think Android is faster, but it shouldn't take months and create a feeling that this is intentional, right? Quality of life changes. Yeah, for example, a type-in filter. If I want to change the robot to a Raven now, right? How long do you think it will take me to find that freaking Raven in this list, right? Or even in this list? It will take forever. And look how it lags, just scrolling through. Again, this seems low quality. It could go smoothly, but it's not. So what if I could just type in RAV, bop, and there we go. The only thing that now shows up is the Raven, right? And if I just type in R, you will see the Rogatka, the Raven, and Ravana, and all this in alphabetic order. It was such an easy thing, and the game is so long on the market. I can't believe this is not in the game yet. And this please for all: modules, pilots, weapons, robots, everything, titans, right? Even battleships. Because people in time gather so many things. And then the last point: add 10 to 20 pop-ups. Add pop-ups. 10 to 20 ad pop-ups when starting WRpetition and more after the first match. You're better than that, WRpetition. You don't need to slap 10 to 20 ads in people's screens and make them click through all of them instead. Make one very well-designed and attractive landing page. One with the most important deals very well visible, and then provide the option to unfold it and open all of the offers for those who want to see all of them or more, right? Make priorities for the most awesome offers that you put out. Be really make interesting offers, and then use this as one awesome landing page when you start the game. And people will probably also invest more time with this one window rather than automatically clicking away these annoying windows. This would also help you, I believe, and so that's why it's also in the list. Now, at the end then, you can make it so that you get a response, and then you can submit this after. Oh, you click this button here too, and then you can submit this thing, and boom. Your response has been recorded, thank you. Petition, WRrobots, hashtag WRrobots petition for a better WRrobots. Again, that is completely meant with a positive spirit, with WRrobots as something we all love in our minds, and to try and help it as best as possible. Nobody wanted to do anything bad here, and I know actually for sure that Pixonic would never have been thinking about this badly or taking this as an assault, but rather as something that they might have to worry about for a bit, because there is a lot of movement behind it now. But at the same time, it's helpful. It is a helpful tool for them to get these numbers, right? And it's made out of the concern and love for the game, and not to be a nasty boycott or something. Unfortunately, that is now not going to be a unified thing, but I guess it's easy to do good when there's no price attached to it. But I will obviously always say these things, and I'm pretty sure Pixonic will not mind a video like this. They would mind if we say, hey guys, stop buying, stop playing until our demands are met. No, that would be something bad they would not agree with, and that they could not value. But something like this, they can certainly value, and I know Pixonic well enough to know that. Anyway, so this is our petition, ladies and gents. You find the link again down below in the description, pinned comment. Make sure to use it, share it, and vote on it. And I would imagine, hopefully, that maybe Pixonic even sees this as something positive and makes a statement and saying, hey, cool guys, thank you all for taking your time to vote on this. We're going to use it, we're going to bring it into the team, and get back to you with solutions or something like this. Would be awesome, right? So I feel like there's really a chance there, if this is being seen as not a malicious attack, which it's not. It's something that that is trying to help the game, and I feel like Pixonic will also, or should also, see it like that. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one. Manny signing off. Bye bye.